Company, wherever you're tuning in this Friday night, the final round of the production car series and also the final round of the stock car series. No time to muck around here because the production cars are literally coming into Murray's Corner and onto the main straight, getting set for start here. Mount Panorama Bathurst, the venue for the series finale, and we're away. Clean, even start from Michael Hammond, moved across immediately in front of Matt Stratford, but Jackson Ray Hunter, importantly, has got the jump as well as they head to Hell Corner and make their way up Mountain Straight for the first time. This is a 60-minute race, 50 minutes longer than the usual, and we're set for some fireworks here. Nick, good evening to you.
Good evening. 28, 29 possibly starters in this race. It's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, and
so many cars.
The car of choice tonight, the fantastic GT4s that we saw in action against Porsche. And as we say, 26 cars took the start. We had Adam Coghlan, Daniel Aish, Stephen Bircham and Michael Latta missing out. Trouble at the cutting. There's a massive pile-up. Two cars in the wall, everyone else doing a fairly good job of squeezing through on the outside. Boy oh boy, drama right off the top here. Peter Hunter was one of the cars involved, and already we've got the caution thrown. So,
wow.
First lap, caution, drama, and the track jammed, not in a dissimilar way to what we saw in 2005.
One of the things, I actually said this to Nico before we went live, is at our old club we used to say cold tyres, cold tyres, cold tyres to the field. And we used to get through quite a few lap ones without any incident. Not tonight.
No, not at all. Director, if we can get a broadcast feed sent through to the Discord, that'd be fantastic. So that we can make sense of a few things that are going on here. Michael had a match. Sorry, you go, Nick.
I was going to say, no, you'll beat me to it. They've pretty much held their grid position. So yeah, go for it. Go crazy.
For sure. There's the stream. Thank you to Robert Hazelguy. Good to have him back on deck, of course. Adam Lavis did a marvellous job on Wednesday night as well. And we're looking forward to what should be a great night of racing here. So a little bit of an earlier start for us in terms of the broadcast. The race, I think, starting 5 minutes earlier than it does normally on a Friday night. And we'll have stock cars for half an hour longer than what we normally do as well. So 50 minutes longer here for production cars, 30 minutes longer for the stock cars. Very tight, narrow post-race show coming your way as soon as we're done here, as far as the production cars are concerned. Lap one on the mountain is done. Probably an opportune time to have a look at the championship points coming into this round because we are under the safety car for the first time. Now, the race conditions here, there is something relating to the safety car that I need to come back to in just a moment. But firstly, it is a double points round like all the final week events for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And we're here with thanks to Oculair, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Central Coast Subaru, and also the team at Flash Graphics as well. So a huge thanks to all of them. Matt Stratford on top of the production car series at the moment. 331 plays Simon Ferris 309 and Michael Hammond 288. Jackson Ray Hunter 279, Rick Linton 259, and Brenton Hobson 246. Tony DeRossi 206, Grant Gill 185, 183 for Nick, who's not racing tonight, and Chris Stark on 176. Now, what's important here, Nick? Mathematically, the top six still in championship contention here, which is an important thing to note. What's also very important to note, the race conditions tonight, very different to the norm. There are quite a few systems in play here that we're not used to. Fast repair limit of 2, an incident count penalties 10, and then every 1x after that. Now that's new. I'm not sure what's going on there. Nick will explain that for us in a moment.
I don't know if I've got an explanation for it.
Yeah, that's right. But there's a DQ limit as well. So if you get 20 incident points, DQ gone. See you later. Thanks for coming. I'd hate to see the championship decided that way.
So would I. This puts a premium on giving everybody a wide berth, calling out incidents across the top of the mountain, and also not putting a wheel wrong, like here on the exit of McPhillamy or the entry to the chase or anything like that. So you've got to drive super clean in this. Someone like Brenton, who's coming from the back, is going to have his work cut out because of that.
Exactly right. Paul Nichols, you've come into the broadcast booth. Good evening to you. Pressure's on here right from the get-go. Obviously, unfortunately, not able to get through lap 1 cleanly. There is another competition caution coming up later in the race, just to spice things up a little bit. We don't know what lap that's being thrown, sometime between lap 5 and 20. But with an early caution like this, it's already chipping into the potential lap count tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a great start, but it is what it is.
We're in it together, mate.
Yeah, we're in together. We're using the new iRacing UI, and I'm new to it, so I set the server up tonight thinking, 20 incident points, that'll work, that's fine. And then, if you get 20 incident points, you get a penalty. But obviously that hasn't worked, so it's 10, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But anyway, we've got to drive clean. Everyone knows that. I've told them that. So let's see how we go. Adam, we might keep an eye on that random safety car to see how we go.
And also too, Nick, you said it, Paul said it, that clean driving factor. Irrespective of what the iRacing incident penalty count is, Mount Panorama's a circuit where you need to drive clean anyway. Correct.
I'm almost tempted to go into the next race and actually put it down to 10 incident points as well, but no, it won't happen. Knowing it's spatial awareness of your car, so no better way to learn it than under pressure. So, these guys are going to have their work cut out because of that, but I think that most of them can get through it. So, looks like another 2 laps under safety car here.
Wow, that's going to chip a lot of time out of the race very early on here. We'll update you on the running order very shortly. Of course, you can see it on the top left side of your screen there, Michael Hammond and Jackson Rayhana. So Rayhana, the big mover first up, going from 3rd to 2nd. Matt Stratford tucked back in behind him at the moment as the field makes their way into Hell Corner one more time. And once again, for whatever reason, Discord just doesn't want to play ball tonight, so I'll be relying on the screen. It's adjacent to me with iRacing and the Facebook live feed, which is about 15 seconds behind, but we'll see how we go here.
We are going green this lap.
So it'll be green next time by, so that'll be the end of lap 3. Remember, time certain race, so no lap counter in play. We had a 40-minute practice. It's normally an hour. We had a 20-minute qual. And as we said, Michael Hammond started from pole position there. I might actually go back and have a look at that qualifying session for you in just a moment, folks, while we've got time. We've got plenty on this lap. Of course, it's about 4.5 minutes behind the safety car around Mount Panorama. It's interesting to note, I should say, pace car speed around here, 88 kilometres an hour. Pit lane speed, 50 kilometres an hour. And there's one X that you really don't want, and that's in pit lane. Everyone hopefully will have practiced their run through pit lane, Nick.
One of my pet peeves is when I'm behind somebody and they don't practice that, and you lose a heap of track time. It happened to me again last night as well.
Indeed. Now,
there's plenty of free time to be gained in pit lane. So the thing about this is it's supposed to be a simulation, and people just pull the car over and push the escape and get out. I actually am an advocate for actually practicing into pit lane, because it will help you in a pit stop race such as this one.
For sure. And on that point, easterly winds 17 k's an hour, mostly cloudy, 25 degrees, 30 on track, 1:21 in the afternoon simulated time, and that is, of course, the 15th of May. Actually, we've gone back to May. Now, that's interesting for Bathurst, because normally the Bathurst races are set to the 15th of November. So,
well, there's another iRacing glitch, because I set it for today's date.
Well, this is right. So, as you can now do, which is good fun for us. Actually, I'm glad it's not this time today, because 7 o'clock around Bathurst at this time in September, it's dark. So that'd be a lot more fun going into the cutting first time around, let me tell you. 6.213 kilometres, 23 turns. You know the drill around here. 40% fuel limit for these cars. And
also, just quickly about parity, I think we have Porsche, BMW, Porsche, BMW, Porsche, BMW.
Yes, we do. I was going to go back and just quickly recap those qualifying results. Michael Hammond from Matt Stratford, Bren Jackson, Rayhana, Troy Cox, 2:16.022 for Michael Hammond, 2:16.289 for Matt Stratford, 2:16.305 for Jackson Rayhana. Then Tony Cox, Peter Hunter, Paul Nichols up there in the top 6. Rick Vincent, Tony DeRossi, Brett Selby-Wood and Simon Ferris made up the top 10. Outside that, Aaron Cooper, then Ben Collard, Xander Antonov, Grant Gill, Simon Francis, Jonathan Turner, Declan Ryan Hart, Dylan Gray. Then Jared Daly and James Wood take us back to 20th. Behind them, Josh Thomas, Connor Brown, Adam Coghlan, Sean Wilson, Andrew Collins, and Brenton Hobson. Pace car making its way into the chase. The lights are out on the safety car. We go back racing this time by.
So Peter Hunter, Andrew Collins, Connor Brown, Tony DeRossi, Jonathan Turner and Joshua Thomas already have 4 and 5 incidents apiece.
And that could be the difference tonight, no doubt about that. Getting set for a restart here.
They were the ones involved in the cutting there.
I thought that might have been the case. Rightio, pace car off, race back on. Geez, the safety car left it late to go into the lane there, didn't he? Now, Michael Hammond will lead him back to green. Jackson Rayhana follows him through. We finally get the chance to watch Hammond and Rayhana go toe-to-toe. Back to green on the mountain. And a clean restart for all concerned. On the run to Hell Corner. Hammond, Rayhana. Then in behind them is Stratford, Cox, Nichols and Cooper. A tear up Mountain Straight. And everybody safely through except for at the back. 2 in the wall on the way up Mountain Straight. They've managed to get back on the black stuff, but a few more incident points coming their way, Nick. In fact, I might get you to be on incident count watch tonight as well for that very reason. It's going to be a talking point at the end of this race.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially if it's double points and you've got to get to the end and you're fighting for a championship, you've got to keep it playing.
Indeed you do. Right, yeah, so it's Hammond, it's Rayhana. Further back in the pack, the 147, Tony DeRossi. A lot of front end damage there. And already the field very well spaced out. It's only half a lap since we've gone back to green. 10 minutes, 51 seconds on the clock, so that's what, 11 minutes of racing down, 49 still to go. And already we've got Michael Hammond down in the bottom of the S's, and cars still filtering through Reed Park.
Almost had a spin on Skyline.
Oh, Brenton Hobson! Well spotted, Adam Lavis.
Background, yeah.
Well spotted. Brenton Hobson's gone round, and that'll be a 1X for sure. And if he gets plowed into by any of the oncomers, it'll be 4 or 5. Hammond under pressure from Rayhana here. Rayhana right on his tail now as they head towards the chase. And Hammond answers the challenge for the moment. There's Paul Nichols on your screen. Watch for him and Dylan Gray in the McLaren Porsches. Have a look at that, the famous orange. How good does that look? Under the bridge one more time.
Papaya orange.
Yes. A run into Murray's. Back across the start-finish line. 13 minutes, 9 seconds gone in this race. That was as Michael Hammond hit the strike. So that's only 4 laps in. It's been a lengthy race so far. We're still aiming for hopefully somewhere in the vicinity of 24, 25 laps here. But obviously that second pace car that comes up later on, that may put pay to that. And as they say, Nick, safety cars breed safety cars. Thankfully, however, that was a much cleaner restart.
Yeah, I think also single file helps. The actual main race start was double file, so yeah, people trying to win it on the first lap.
Nothing like going from 0 to hero, but in that case ending up hero to 0.
It's very easy to do on lap 1.
Oh yeah, and how many times have we said it? It's not one on the first lap. In fact, it's not even one on the second last lap. It's only one on the last, and that's the only one that matters. Michael Hammond leads him across the top one more time. There's Grant Gill on your screen.
One on the last lap. Just ask Chaz Mostert.
Exactly. Old mate Chaz. Good stuff. So, just having a look through here. Already Connor Brown and Brenton Hobson, the ones that were involved in that incident last time round. Hobbo at the back of the field trying to burn from the stern and trying to get through a second time. That's not going to be easy. I don't know how many positions he managed to make up the first time round there, Nick, but by gee, he's got his work cut out for him now.
Yeah, oh look, I don't know where he's fallen to. It looks like 26, but hey, look, he's going to give it a red hot go.
He always does. There's Paul Nichols going down into the chase one more time. Sorry, it's actually Dylan Gray. It's the other McLaren that we're looking at there, following Grant Gill through. Looking the goods is young Dylan at the moment. How good's curb cam at the chase? We're right on board with Dylan Gray now. Let's stay with this, Rob, and as we normally do, get Nick to talk us through a famous lap of this iconic circuit.
All right, we're down into Murray's, usually third gear in this car. Coming across the start-finish line, we're going to work your way up to fifth gear, then you're going to brake it just after the 100-metre board there, and come back down to third gear again. Maybe second if you've got some tyre issues. Up through the gears. Who are we chasing here? Is it,
chasing Grant Gill.
Grant Gill, yep. Chasing Grant Gill in a similar coloured car. You're going to work your way up to fifth gear on the run into Repco Griffin's Bend as we pass a slower vehicle. Back down to third gear. Get off the brakes nice and early and just float through the corner. Aim for the second last pedigree sign, this one right here. At the gum tree, work your way out to the Armco. There's an Armco barrier door there. Yep, that's your turn-in point. Brake it back down to third gear, possibly second, depending on the car. Power out the steepest part of the circuit. Flat across this hump. It's probably the only car you can do it in. And just the tiniest of lifts through here, what I call the gum tree, up over the crest and the rise of the highest point of the circuit. Down into Reed Park, or Castrol Curve as I like to call it. Hit the wall and then come back up over the rise into McPhillamy Park, past the sand trap there. Don't forget your bucket and spade. Over the top in Skyline, down the hill, run a bit of the curb on the left. Keep it really close to the wall on the right, or maybe a bit closer than that, through the dipper.
It's a heavy
run
ride
down the hill, past Mostard's corner into Forest's corner. A naturally understeering corner, so you get a lot of understeer through there, and then a run down the hill. If you get a bad run out of Forest's elbow, you do lose a fair bit of speed down the chute. Work your way through the 6-speed gearbox. The Bimmers have 7, they don't reach 7, but work your way through the 6-speed gearbox in this car. Use a little bit of the apron on the entry into the chase. Oh, more than that, Dylan, please. And then brake real hard. Third gear. Oh, I need to use more track here. Third gear into the chase. Coming through under the bridge. And then down into Murray's corner to complete the lap. And that there is a lap of Mount Panorama chasing Grant Gill. Dylan has just logged a 2-minute 19.9 on that lap.
And a nice lap too from Dylan Gray right there. The interesting thing that we should point out is Grant Gill managed to pull away on that lap, but thanks mainly to those couple of small little mistakes that he rode on board with for Dylan Gray right there. There's a message for you to reply to from Adam Lavis as well. Nick, now that you've done that for me, thanks very much, Lou. Michael having continued to lead this race, only half a second between him and Jackson Ray Hunter. Actually, let's ride with them out of the cutting this time if we can. Michael Hammond under serious pressure here, but answering the challenge. Up there on the inside, actually, you just saw it on Dylan Gray, was, I believe, either Jared Daly or Simon Francis. Simon Francis, in fact. So very nicely done. Yeah, Francis getting through on the inside of Dylan Gray. So that was for position 13. Francis into 13th, Dylan Gray back to 14th at this point in time on the mountain. Leaders coming down into Skyline, actually into the Essence, then the Dipper at the moment. How good's the great look up close like that? Well played. I mean, you talk about the perfections of iRacing. I mean, the great is just an example of what they managed to do so well, and that's laser scan these circuits for our enjoyment in the sim world. We've greatly enjoyed it this year. We hope you have as well. Of course, there's another production car series coming up in 2 weeks' time. First round of the new season will take us to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. And we can't wait to have your company for all of that. These production car races, however, Nick, will be a little bit shorter in the new season. They're coming back from 45 minutes, or 60 in the case tonight, to 30 minutes because our Friday nights turn from being a double header to a triple header.
Yeah, it's going to be action-packed. There's going to be
Nice.
prog cars, stock cars, V8 cars. So it's going to be a long night.
Very good evening to you, Adam Lavis. You were chiming in there for a sec.
Yeah, there was just a triple car pile-up in the chase.
Oh. So that's not very good news. I actually haven't been able to see it as yet.
Aaron Cooper was one. I think he's out.
So Aaron Cooper involved.
I'm looking at cars in pit lane. Sean Wilson, Connor Brown, 19 and 15 incident points respectively. So I'm going to say those guys are in it.
They're in a hell of a lot of trouble. They are in a hell of a lot of trouble. Jackson Rayhana sits second at the moment. Matt Stratford third. Then you go back to Troy Cox. Paul Nichols having a great run in fifth as our mate. Xander Antonov in behind him, of course. He sits sixth. Then Simon Ferris, Brett Selby, Wood, Ben Collada, and Rick Vincent. You get a good enough look at who was involved in carnage at the chase, but Rick Vincent's actually come out of the pits now, sitting well down the order side, say that he was involved. And as Adam Lavis pointed out, Aaron Cooper, another one involved there. And we'll find out who the other one was very shortly. Down into the S's and the dipper one more time. Look at this, Hammond under pressure from Rayhana. Well, I say that, but Jackson really hasn't mounted a challenge yet, has he, Nick? Michael's kind of just been able to run at his own pace here because Jackson's not putting him under any pressure whatsoever. Michael's aware that he's there, but he's not in any danger, not under threat at the moment because Rayhana's not bobbing the nose up on the inside as he normally would.
No, I know they're working together. They're in another channel working together, trying to get the best result for the pair of them. So as per like a NASCAR at a super duper speedway, nose to tail, you'll get your laps done quicker, and yeah, going side by side always slows you down.
Good to have your company on a Friday night. Those of you just joining us on Do a Drift Esports. Great big shout out to the team at Bush Graphics that left a comment on our Facebook live feed here saying good luck to all involved in the season finale. Paul Nichols hard at work. I've got my eyes on him there at the moment. And we're going to get an indication of where things stand at the turn. Rick Vincent, of course, having ducked into the lane, has jumped down to 17th position. Shane Wilson has disconnected. Sorry, Sean Wilson, I should say. Sean Wilson has disconnected from the service. So in one of the cars that was probably... And, we're riding on board with one of the BMWs now heading up towards the cutting. Wilson, Cooper and Vincent. Thank you, Adam Lavis. I didn't catch all of that, but I was able to make it out. Again, it just seems to be when I'm running race labs, which is important from a graphics standpoint, well, from a statistics standpoint. Discord just doesn't want to be my friend, but we'll persevere with it at the moment. Nick, we're not quite at half race distance. 22.16 last time by the line from Michael Hammond. Observations thus far?
Really?
Where are we at on incident point?
Well, the front two have pulled to a 4-second lead, so once again, I'm not sure on the championship. I need my abacus. The championship fight, I'm not sure what's going on there. We have to keep an eye on certain people. But yeah, look,
right.
I guess with lower incident points, yes, you have to put a premium on being safe, but it also removes a little bit of the aggression and the passing. So it's finding that balance. You don't want too many incident points because then it just goes ballistic. But yeah, look, they're keeping it clean. We'll see what happens with the next couple of laps. And now an incident report. We have Okay, well, I'll go through some people who are not in the server now. So Adam Coughlin, Sean Wilson, Michael Latta, Rick Vincent, Stephen Birchnall, and of those guys, we got Sean Wilson on 19, Connor Brown, who's still in server, he's on 15.
Yep.
And then there's either donuts or people less than 10. I guess notable ones are Josh Thomas on 8, Tony DeRossi on 9. In the background, I can hear someone has entered pit lane.
Andrew Collins on 7 and Peter Hunter on 7, so they're a car contact away.
Yep.
Yep. So 2 cars in the lane at the moment. Rick Vincent is manually disconnected. Sean Wilson as well. So Rick had a big incident going out towards where Chaz had his monster a couple of years ago. 2015, of course. Rick Vincent come off there on the run to that wall. And then just shot himself back to the pit lane and said, "That's it, I'm out, I'm gone, I'm done." So it's been an interesting night so far.
Ben Collard out nice and quick, and it looks like he just jumped in front of his teammate.
Did a very nice job of that, actually. Not wrong. Back towards the front of the field. I'm just having a little bit of trouble picking up whether we're riding with Nico or Dylan at the moment.
Now you got Jonathan Turner, and it looks like it'll be Dylan.
Yeah, Jonathan Turner and Dylan. Yep. So Jonathan sitting in 13. Up over the rise, they go one more time. And apologies, folks. As I say, my race feed that you're seeing at home is just coming through static at the moment, so I'm just persevering with that. So it's interesting to note that of the championship contenders, Hammond picks up the 10 points for pole position, so he moves up to 298. And it still puts him 35 points away from Matt Stratford. He is only 2 positions ahead of him on the racetrack. And it depends on whether he's got a donut or whether, and Stratford as well, whether he can claw back any more than that. But at this point in time, Stratford could just be hanging on to the championship. Simon Ferris being 4 positions behind Stratford will again help Stratford. And, it could come down to incident points. It could come down to track position. It's an interesting fight here at the moment. Again, we'll have the final results with Adam Lavis at the end of the broadcast. I'm looking forward to that immensely. We'll also have a look at the new calendar as far as the Friday night affair is concerned. As I say, we're tripling up on a Friday night from September 25, so do come and join us for that.
Stratford's got 1 incident, Mikey Hammond's got 0.
Well, there you go. So Hammond will be desperately keen to hold on to that because Stratford won't get the bonus points. So that'll be another 10. So that'll bring him up, if he can stay there, that is. That'll bring him up to 3-0. That gives him 23 points to play with. He would need something drastically wrong to go to for Stratford to happen, or to happen to Stratford, if I get my English correct. For him to come through and clean up the chocolates. At the moment, it's still Stratford's championship. As we try and crunch the numbers and commentate at the same time, it's not easy.
Well, that's the thing. Mikey wants to put as many cars as he can between them, so I think that's why he's still in front of Jackson. And I'm sure he's trying to get all friends and mates and anybody he can in between them on the actual totem pole there. But I think because Stratty's got a bit of a lead in the championship, he's kind of playing a bit more conservative.
Now, if you're a fan of Formula One, we'll update you on what happens in the opening practice session for the Tuscan Grand Prix at the end of the broadcast as well. The Jello Circuit in Italy hosting Formula One in a World Championship round capacity for the very first time. Tonight, Rayhana and Hammond to the chase one. How good's that flying shot down into the chase? Gets better and better every time. And it's the point that, yes, they're not as fast as supercars, stock cars or Indy cars, but they're just as spectacular, these GT4s.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of spectacular, on your screen, Brenton Hobson, where's he worked his way to? He's up to 19th. And just double checking, he's
so that was
3
from
incident
26th.
points.
He's got up into 19th now.
3 incident points as well. So he won't be getting the bonus?
No, he won't be. It's just got to the point where my don't want to play ball with me because he's reading 19th on the iRacing server, and he's reading about 12th on my broadcast Race Labs server. So I'm just going to close that and be done with it, I think.
That one's live, so he may have pitted or have jumped up. So
True. Yeah, it's flickering around all the time. It's a little bit weird. I'm still getting the head around it.
It looks like he has pitted. He pitted 2 laps ago.
Yeah. To go up from 19th to 13th, you'd need a lot more people to be pitting than that. So no, I'm not behind that at the moment. Make their way around. I'll run you through the order according to what we've got here on the iRacing screen. It's Michael Hammond, Jackson Rayhana, then Troy Cox, Matt Stratford, Paul Nichols, Sander Antonif, then Simon Ferris, Grant Gill, Simon Francis, and Jared Daly, of course, sitting there in position number 10. The end of another lap for Brenton Hobson, trying to fight his way back through the field. But this is what we didn't need to happen for Hobbo. He's got incident points. He's buried in the pack. That's one of our key championship contenders pretty much ruled out before we even get to the halfway mark, Nick. And it was always going to be fraught with danger, the old burn from the stern tactic at a circuit like this.
Well, I think he's pitted, so he won't have to come back into pits for the rest of the race. And if there's a second safety car, it'll bunch the field back up and he'll get track position. So it might work out in his favour. Still, don't count your chickens till they hatch, so to speak, but you just never know. There it is.
Well, speaking of which, there it is, right on cue. Random safety car on lap 12. I had my money on a little bit later in the race in terms of making the back end of it a little bit more exciting. But anyway, it is right on halfway pretty well that it's been thrown. This will bunch the field up for the second time. Michael Hammond, Jackson Rayhana.
That guy stuck in pit lane because that safety car is there, and he pitted during this just before the safety car. That's a tough break for whoever that car is in the Velocity Sim Sports car.
Agreed.
Oh no, he's got the wave around. Lucky him.
He got the wave around very quickly, actually. Wow. I'm a little bit surprised by that.
So iRacing will do an automatic one if you happen to be in the pit lane and it's just ill timing like that. Something really unique like that, but for the rest of it, they'll be manual.
For sure. Hey, Adam Lavis, we say thank you to you for the moment. You've done a great job, but you're about to go and step into the stock car and get ready for the Daytona round, which is coming up as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, we'll be able to do the wave rounds first, but after that, we'll be jumping over and getting practicing.
That's it. I just thought I'd get in a quick thank you and goodbye before you go, because we might miss that once these waiver rounds are done. So on that subject, waiver rounds, let's talk about it. Connor Brown, Peter Hunter, Rick Vincent and Sean Wilson are all 2 or more laps down. We know that Rick Vincent's left the server, as has Sean Wilson, so it's just Hunter and Brown. But that waiver round's not even going to get them back on the lead lap. It's just going to get them 1 lap down, which goes to show how much trouble they've found themselves in thus far as this race is concerned. It's Michael Hammond from Jackson Rayhana. Well, this is right, Nick, but the thing I wanted to ask you, you mentioned there a minute ago, the pit stop window. How much fuel are these cars burning, and what's the critical minute in terms of we can fuel up here and get home, or what's in a conversely situation, what's the furthest they can go into the race to then just do a splash and dash?
I haven't got the numbers off the top of my head. I think it was like 2 or 3.
I think you can probably 2.7, 2.8 per lap. BMWs burn a bit more than the Porsche. I was thinking maybe 16 laps you could probably get out of a tank.
Porker's got 46 litres as well, so 2.8.
That's interesting. Good to have you back as well, Paul Nichols, 2.8.
Yeah, around that. I've pitted, so I think I'm in a fairly good position.
Well, this is the thing too, because we've had 2 safety cars. We were only originally banking on 1, but obviously it's Bathurst. It's always fraught with danger. We've got this second one, which was the originally scheduled competition caution. Bunches the field up, takes a couple of laps out of the count as well, because the lap time is nearly double from race flat out 100% to behind the safety car. Remind pace car speed 88 kilometres an hour to give you an indication. Michael Hammond earlier in the race, if I stay on the right car, he was 4:04 and 4:11, so not quite twice the distance in terms of time.
The guys that haven't pitted,
faster lap speed.
the guys that haven't pitted are in a fair bit of danger here because they're not going to have track position and going to have to pretty much make their way back from where Hobbo is. So watch the leaders. If they pit and the rest of the field follow them, not too bad. If they pit and nobody follows them, they're going to be in a bit of strife.
And this is the thing, as what Nico has said, as you get that beautiful shot of the cars coming through turn 20 now into the chase. 21, 22, back around. They're my two favourite shots of that part of the circuit. We were talking about that on Wednesday night. In terms of just capturing the cars front on, that's the best way to do it. And only in the last couple of years
they're in.
have we noticed that is a flurry of activity in the pit lane. Now it'll be interesting to see who else goes
in.
in.
Good track position now.
I think everyone's going in. Let's see if anyone comes around following that safety car.
Well, if if Paul Nichols or Brenton Hobson's go in, they'll just get a top up and get out. So they'll jump people. Keep your eye on Michael
Paul Nichols will beat this race, is that right? Is that Ewan behind the safety car or is that Dylan, Paul?
Can't hear you, Paul.
So I think Dylan passed the safety car, which when everyone was pitting, I told him not to pass the safety car. I think he might have got a black
next car in front. Do not pass the car in front, which happens all the time here at this track. So it is Dylan behind the safety car.
It is Dylan. Yeah, wow.
So you cannot pass the car in front until you hit the control line, which is the start-finish line, which is the pit lane speed limit line for the pits. So Nico and Dylan on screen.
McLaren brothers.
The two McLaren Porsches are 1 and 2. Can you believe that? It's going to be interesting to see if Dylan can, how long he can hold the front of the field position for here. Hold the lead. What's your strategy from this? Well, this is right, Nick. I'll come back to you in a sec. I just want to grab Nico while we've still got him. Paul, what's your strategy from here, mate?
Just get home. Get home.
Head down, Bummer.
I've got 0 incident points, so
good boy. And that's the other big talking point too, Nick. And this is exactly where I was going. This is why I wanted to start with Nico and then come to you. And when you look at the guys that are now buried in the pack, so Michael Hammond, Jackson Rahana, they've got cars to pass. Their 0 incidents are in a little bit of danger here.
100%. 100%. I'm just trying to figure out where Mikey has fallen to. So Cooper, Hobson, Thomas, Selby Wood, Collard, Nico and Dylan in front of him. So what's that, 8 cars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's the 8th car on the line.
Yeah.
And so you got Hobson in front of him, who's very fast. You got Nico, who hasn't won a race all season in this category. He's going to be very fast. You got Dylan, who's like a hand grenade with the pin pulled. Don't know what's going to happen. You got Jackson Rahana who's in there. There's a police. There's everybody and anybody who's got a name who's either infamous or famous is at the front. So watch for plenty of sparks. Yep. And if things don't go to plan, you're not going to talk to Mikey Hammond after the race. Sorry.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Declan Reinhardt's in there as well. There are a couple of doing the wave around. Yeah, safety car sticking out. It's been thrown again, so we're going to keep the caution car, the safety car up there for a little bit longer. What the hell is going on here? I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to be on the grass at the top of the hill. It's another to be on a straight line. Yes, Adam.
Peter was coming past, and Brett swerved in front of him.
Oh, right, that'll do it. That'll do it.
They shouldn't be doing that.
A little bit of silliness on a Friday night, but the
post-race penalty, that one.
I think so. There'll be a fair bit of paperwork to do, right, Nico, given the incident point count.
What's paperwork?
Oh dear.
What have we got? Just over 20 minutes to go. What's that, about 10 laps?
I was trying to not do the extra lap, but it took a while for Peter to get through the field, so
we'll end up getting an extra lap here. That's going to leave us with about 8 racing laps. No,
car a lap
no
for Hammond.
more. Well, that's right. So this is all of a sudden. I mean, we were talking about when the caution could be thrown. Lap 12 turned out to be a very good number.
And Dylan has a penalty to serve as well.
Okay, for passing the safety car.
Yeah, for passing somebody else before the control line.
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one either. So there's a fair bit of rubbish going on out there at the moment. Unfortunately, everyone letting their hair down.